6 o'clock, I'll bring the Tuolumne County Planning Commission meeting of April 1st to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and tonight we will welcome our new commissioner, Cole Frisbella. And welcome to you, Cole, and look forward to many years of good contributions. Okay? Let's see, starting out with our normal business, any reports from any of the commissioners or the staff? Ms. Shane?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too would like to welcome our new commissioner, whose first meeting is tonight. And just to remind the commission that we have scheduled a workshop on the general plan update for your next meeting on April 15th. And we certainly encourage members of the public to attend. Adam Paskowski, our senior planner in charge of that project, will basically walk you through what for those of you who are new, it's part of your orientation too. This is what a general plan is all about, and this is what we are proposing to do in Tuolumne County. So that'll be your next meeting. That will be the only item on the agenda. But we do expect to have some items for your May 6th meeting as well. And after that, I'm not sure when we'll meet again, but looks like we'll be at least having meetings the next two regularly scheduled times. With that, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have to report this evening.
Okay, another staff report from Mr. York.
Just a bit of good news. Today was the first day we broke ground for the Jamestown Walkway project. The contractor was out there working, and we had a lot of bystanders that were enjoying the work as it was proceeding.
Well, it's been a long time coming, as you well know, and here we are, and making progress in Jamestown. Very good.
It's not an April Fool's, right?
No, I drove through.
Another joke for April Fool's, but we won't go into
No, I know it's real. I drove down through there, and there was a detour and all that kind of stuff, so that's good. Okay, let's see. Planning Committee representative.
There was no meeting, Mr.
No
Chairman.
meeting, thank you. And let's see, the Ag Advisory Committee representative, Mr. Fulker.
Mr. Chairman, we did have a meeting on the 19th of March. We had 3 items. The first item was the Oakview Estates subdivision project. We voted not to recommend approval on that. Main reason being is that they wanted to take a 200-foot easement down to a 50-foot easement on 3 of the lots. And so we thought that there was a lot of high ag land alongside that. The second item was Frederick and Kathleen Kale. And we also voted not to recommend approval. Same basic reason, except for the fact they wanted to take the 200-foot setback down to a 30-foot setback around the entire project. And we felt like, although they were asking to cut it down to like 10 and 12 and up to 30-acre parcels, the only reasoning that they would request down to a 30-foot setback was if they were going to eventually intend to make them 3-acre lots. So we decided not to recommend that. On the third item was the Kurilik Husu, and it was to allow a lot line adjustment between an existing 91-acre parcel and an existing 10-acre parcel to create a 96-acre parcel and a 5-acre parcel. We did recommend approval on that one. Are there any questions?
No, Ms. Shane, those will be coming to us, of course, at some point, or? What do you think?
Yes, actually, they all will.
Okay,
Yes.
and we will keep an open mind.
Yes, I'll just let you know, the Oakview Estates project, you may be hearing more about that. There have been letters to the editor in the newspaper already. That's a proposed subdivision off of Soulsbyville Road. We've
Oh,
just
yeah.
begun the environmental impact report on that project, so that'll be about a year before we come to you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, the next item, minutes of the meeting of March 18th. And,
Excuse me.
yes,
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept and approve those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, there was one error in that, and that's on page 3, where you called for a vote, and it said 4 ayes, no noes, and 2 abstentions. It should have been 1 abstention. So with that correction,
Okay.
I would second the motion.
all right. Now, if you will turn to page 8,
You found one I didn't. All
I
right.
did read the minutes. Page 8, 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph down.
Got it?
Chairman Plan asked if there were any other opponents wishing to speak neither for nor against. Well, if you
Oh,
speak
opponents.
neither for or against, you are not an opponent.
That's right.
You are a neutral. Or words to that
Good
effect.
point.
And then going down further on that same page, it says, Chairman Plan asked if anyone who spoke in opposition would like to speak in rebuttal. And then the second, 2 more lines down, Chairman Plan said the same thing. Now, he
Repeated
can't get
yourself.
redundant and repetitive, but I claim I
Okay.
might have not done it that night. Okay? Okay, so we do have a motion. Can we restate the motion to adopt the minutes as corrected?
Please.
Okay, for the
And
second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so ordered on a 4-0 vote. Okay? All right, now, let's see. Public comment, anybody that wishes to can address the commission on any item that's not on the agenda. And I don't see anybody that wants to do that, and so we will close that. We'll now open public hearing, part of our meeting. And our first item has to do with Blue, which I presume is somebody's name.
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Blue, or we'll find that out. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Peggy Blue owns a 6.7 acre parcel that's located at 14450 Jacksonville Road. She currently has a farm stand on her property, and she has been selling food from the farm stand through the cottage food program. That was a new program that was established by the state of California about a year and a half ago, and that allows people to make food in their kitchens that it's a non-hazardous type of food. So cookies and baking type things like that. But you can't have meats or anything that could cause salmonella or problems like that. So it is limited to what you can prepare and sell. She would like to convert the existing farm stand on the property to a commercial kitchen. If she does that, she would no longer be limited to the cottage food program. She could then offer all types of products from her kitchen. She would like to be able to prepare, again, food at the commercial kitchen and pursue this in 2 phases. One would be to take the food elsewhere to sell, and then ultimately she would like to be able to sell the food at the farm stand, or what will really become a delicatessen, because she'd like to sell sandwiches and drinks and things like that. The conditions of approval that are before you have broken the project down for those 2 phases, so that some conditions would apply if it becomes the on-site sales, so would not apply to the off-site sales. The zoning of this property is, and the general plan, currently do not allow a commercial kitchen. So before you this evening is a request by Mrs. Blue for for a general plan amendment to change the land use designation on 1.4 acres of the 6.7 acre site from rural residential to special commercial. She was also asking your support to rezone the property from through RE5 to CK commercial recreational, and that would again only apply to the 1.4 acres of the site. And finally, a site review permit to allow the conversion of the building into a commercial kitchen, and then she'll be able to operate that as we have discussed. We did send letters to joining property owners advising them of this proposal. We received no opposition to this project.
Okay, any questions of staff before we proceed? Seeing none, okay, in keeping with our normal protocol, the proponent is able to address the commission on any details of their project prior to us going to the public hearing. Okay, we don't need to do that then. Instead, we will start the public hearing, and the way we run this is those in favor of the project are able to speak first. Those who object to the project speak second. And thirdly, those who just wish to speak neutrally are able to speak. Having said that, anybody wish to speak in favor of this project? Yes, ma'am. You got the duty. Short straw.
I just wanted to thank everyone that has worked with me on this project to bring it to where it is today, and in hopes of a very positive outcome. And I look forward to doing business in Tuolumne County and serving our customers and our local people that pass through this area.
Thank you. Any questions? Is it Miss Blue?
Yes, Ms.
You
Blue.
are Miss Blue. Any questions? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody wish to speak in opposition? Don't see anybody. Anybody wish to speak neutrally? I don't see anybody, and with that, we close the public hearing. Bring the matter back for board consideration, discussion, or a motion, and the recommended motion is on page 12 of the agenda report.
Yes.
Any discussion? If not, may I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I move that we approve the general plan amendment, GPA 14-004, subject to A, B, and C, and D. Concurrently, approval of zone change, RZ 14-014, with the findings A, B, C, and D. Concurrently, the site review permit, SRP 14-004, and the conditions 1 through 49.
And findings?
A, B, C, and D.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carried unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Blue. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
No.
Okay, our second order of business has to do with an ordinance concerning the unsightly appearance of damaged or neglected buildings. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Currently, when a building is damaged by fire or some other reason, or it's left to just deteriorate on its own, must be made safe based upon state and local ordinances and regulations. That's typically done by boarding up the windows or putting fencing around the property. And as long as the structure is made safe, there is no other requirement of the property owner to repair the building, remove it, or anything. This has led to numerous complaints to members of the Board of Supervisors that there are unsightly buildings throughout the county that have been damaged and not repaired to a state where they are attractive. And so this really is getting more into the appearance of the building than obviously a safety issue. As such, the Board of Supervisors directed that staff prepare an ordinance to address this issue. That ordinance is before you this evening, and it has been reviewed by the Board of Supervisors Planning Committee at its meeting on October 30th, and at that time, 30th of 2014, the Planning Committee endorsed the ordinance as proposed, and then it went to the full Board of Supervisors, who determined on December 2nd that it was ready to be heard by your commission. Since that time, it's been with County Council, who made a couple of recommended changes to the ordinance and that have now been incorporated. One of the issues that came up, that County Council raised, was the fact that there was a conflict. This ordinance requires that a building, if it's again in a dilapidated condition or it's been damaged by a fire or some other reason, would be given, the property owner would be given 18 months to demolish the building or to make repairs to it, to make it so it's no longer unsightly. The ordinance provides for the property owner to make 2 requests for extensions of 6 months each. So they would get an additional year, so it would be a total of 2.5 years to address this issue. We have buildings that have been in this condition for many years, and so in our code compliance ordinance, which is the vehicle that we would use to enforce this ordinance, there is an existing provision that says that the county will not enforce a situation or a violation that's been in place for over 5 years. Basically, it's a statute of limitations. So older cases, older situations, like somebody built a house without a permit years ago or a little storage shed, we won't be dealing with those. But in this case, we don't necessarily want to have that 5-year provision. So one of the changes that council recommends to the ordinance is that we address that issue. And so in addition to adding a new section to Chapter 15 of the ordinance code, which deals with buildings, we are also proposing to amend Section 110.120A, and that would to exempt this particular ordinance and the damaged building provisions from the statute of limitations in the code compliance ordinance. So it's really, I think, a pretty straightforward ordinance. If we have dilapidated buildings, the property owner is going to receive notice. We, of course, will work with them to give them time to bring the property into a condition, either by demolishing the structure or repairing it. And failure to do so will then result in going through the code compliance process. So, again, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Now, this is designed for abandoned buildings,
Yes.
not substandard housing or, we already have an ordinance covering that sort of thing.
That's right, and we have, rely mostly on state law for that. That state housing code has a lot, the health and safety code has a lot of teeth in it as far as substandard housing, and we are dealing with that effectively. This, as you said, Mr. Chairman, is really those buildings that, for whatever reason, they aren't being used, they're just kind of sitting there, becoming even more dilapidated over time.
Okay, thank you.
Mr.
Volker.
Chairman, I have one question on the 2 6-month extensions after the 18 months. Just for clarification, they need to be in progress, be
Making a
making
good
some
faith
progress
effort,
on
yes.
during that 18 months before they could
Yes,
request a 6-month extension.
that's right.
And Ms. Shane, those requests for extensions are subject to your
That's right.
office review.
That's correct.
Okay, any other questions? Let's see, this is a public hearing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, public hearing is open. Anybody wish to comment for or against or neutral on this? Seeing nobody? Public hearing is closed. Matters back to the commission for appropriate action, which would be a motion one way or the other, such as is listed on page 4 of your agenda report. Well, you got it. I'll take it for you.
Got it here. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion recommending approval of the proposed ordinance amendment Title I and Title 15 of Tuolumne County Ordinance Code based upon the following findings, A through C.
Is there-
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, so ordered on a unanimous vote. Any other business for this commission? Okay, with that, this meeting is terminated.
Okay.
Thanks.
And next meeting will be longer.